Okay. Driving left-handed feels very odd. But hopefully, today, I should be able to give you a couple of tips which I've learned over the last week or so. Driving on the wrong side of the road. And more specifically, driving in America. Coming from driving on the right hand side to now driving on the left hand side can get confusing, and unfortunately you catch me driving to work, so there's probably going to be a hell of a lot of traffic and I can't use the carpool lane because I no longer have my colleague with me. But that's alright. What I'm going to do is I'm going to overlay,
turn right onto A5 North,
as I was saying. But that's alright. What I'm going to do is I'm going to overlay some footage of Beverly Hills. How's that? A bit better. First tip, when coming onto the highway during, well, certainly in California, come on, here you go. When coming onto the highway in California in rush hour times, the slip roads getting onto the highway have traffic lights letting you know you're not allowed to get on. Until they say
drive 12 kilometers on I-5 North.
Yes, ma'am. So the first thing you notice when driving on the wrong side of the road, for whichever that is for you, is everything feels backwards. It's a bit like kicking a football with your left foot. You know exactly what you need to do, but suddenly you've got to concentrate an awful lot more on what you're actually doing. Because for me, I'm used to glancing in the rear view mirror naturally to the left and having my big blind spot in the left-hand mirror. Whereas now everything's switched around. So you do feel like you're driving blind, which is quite annoying. Because over time, you will naturally learn to glance in your mirrors and know exactly what's plotting and feel like you've got a 360-degree picture of the world. Not so when you switch over to the other side of the road. But it's okay, you'll learn it. Just pay attention, you'll be fine. The next thing you'll notice is you'll naturally stray to the wrong side of the lane. For me, because you tend to, whichever side you're driving on, you tend to err on that side of the lane simply because you feel more confident on that side of the lane, you can see more, you know what's going on, and so naturally you'll hit that side. Of course, when you switch driving sides, you're still used to erring on, in my case, the right hand side of the lane, and everyone in the country you're in driving on the left hand side will be erring to the left hand side of the lane. I mean, you've got to kind of pay attention and aim your car correctly, of a better word. But what's driving in California like? Well, everybody here has a massive V8, which is a lazy American V8, which is fine, I guess. Everyone drives automatic, no one drives stick. And people in general are actually fairly relaxed about driving, which is quite unique. I think I've only had 2 people hooted at me the whole time I've been here, which is fairly impressive for someone who knows absolutely nothing of what they're doing. Whereas in Johannesburg, for example, I would have been shouted at 1,000,000 times by now. People also do tend to give themselves a bit more following distance, which is a good thing. And the highways are absolutely massive. Of course, Beverly Hills, which you're looking at right now, is incredibly beautiful. And if you're wondering how much money there is here in California, well, just know that California as a country, which it's not, but if it were a country, it would have its GDP is in approximately 8th, 6th, 8th, somewhere, top 10 anyway, in the world. So people have bucks here, big bucks. So what I want you to do is imagine the richest person you know and they are now a pauper. Well done. That is how rich people are here. Getting back to the freeways, there's also a carpool lane, which are awesome. If you have a second person in your car, you can use the carpool lane, which just zoots along the side of the highway, the fast lane of the highway, the fastest lane of the highway, and you absolutely fly. You don't get stuck in nearly as much traffic. They are wonderful to use. It cuts your time to work absolutely in half. It's amazing. Today I don't get to use it, unfortunately, but what can you do? Okay, so speed. Speed is an interesting issue. Obviously now I'm traveling in miles an hour instead of kilometers an hour, and that means absolutely nothing. I may as well be judging my speed in grilled cheese sandwiches for all it means to me. However, as with any new place, I do tend to judge my speed based on what others are doing. So the highway here, for example, has a 55 mile an hour speed limit, which is, let's do some sums quickly, that's around 80, 90 k's an hour, which is really slow. But absolutely everybody here in California speeds, because no one does 55 on the highway, not even people in the slow lane. The only thing you got to worry about, obviously, is coppers, and coppers are serious here, like super serious. They all have guns, and they will shoot you. So you don't have speed traps, static speed traps like we do in, well, in my case, in South Africa. I know the UK often has static speed traps as well, but what they have is moving vehicles with radar guns, and they tend to be unmarked and things like that. But I figure if you're doing the same speed as everybody else, that's a lot of people for them to pull over. So, you know, go with the flow. Right, everyone, thanks for joining on my little trip in California. Just a couple of things that I picked up along the way. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, and join us for more motoring content.